Alright, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make some cordage out of milkweed. So as you've seen, we've already gone and we've harvested 4 stalks of milkweed. I chose the green ones mostly because that's all we have in the area right now that I could find. If you choose the darker ones, I find they're a little bit more brittle if they're later in the year, but you can get some nice finer cordage out of it. So with these green ones, it's kind of a little bit thicker, it's a little bit more barky, but it works in a pinch and it can be really strong if you dry them out a bit first. So the first thing you're going to want to do is after you've cut them, you're going to want to take either a hatchet or a sharp stone, or even if you don't have any of those, you can just crush them up with your fingers. So you're going to want to start to crush them all the way in half from one end to another. Do that for all of them, and try not to hit too hard so you don't break up all the fibers too much and snap off the ends. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take them and you're going to want to split them just in half. So it should be pretty easy after you've done all the crushing. But just make sure you're not too fast and you don't break them into tiny little pieces too much. So if you look, it breaks apart into about 4 ends depending on how big. This is a kind of a big piece. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to crush, just take one end and see the pithy inner core, push it up and try to snap them off all in a line. So sometimes they don't always do it. So then you're going to find that this part, if you can see, will come away, and then you're taking this off. Okay, and you can just throw that in the garbage or whatever. So if you see in here we have the white little hairs, that's what we're getting at. But the way we're going to do it today is we're actually going to use this part too. So you want to then just keep repeating the process over and over again. So you have to, after you've snapped off that top piece, you'll see you've separated this part from the softer part. So what you could do now is you can just grab it like this, and they'll all should just come off nice and in one. So there we go. This is what we're left with. We're left with the outer bark. So what you want to do, since it's green, it's a little bit wet, and you can make cordage just out of it like this, but I found it to be once it dried, it kind of wasn't as strong. So what you want to do is you want to take all of these and you want to leave them in the sun for a few hours or a day or two, and then they'll get all brittle and you can separate the fibers a little better. But for today I'm just going to show you how you can do it with just this, because the process is the same and we don't have time to wait 4 hours right now. So once you have them all into little strips of the outer bark and you've dried them for a few hours, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just help separate the fibers a bit and kind of make them a little bit smaller. So what I do is I just roll it in my hands like this. And this will help separate the fibers a little bit. But what we're doing is we're just using all of it. If you look here, these are some of the separated fibers. So this is what it looks like when you really get it processed nicely. And you can use this for fishing line. It's really nice and fine and really strong. But today we're just going to make more of a rope, kind of multi-purpose. I'll show you the finished product after. So after you get this all nice and broken up a bit, we're going to start twisting it. So now we got all these strips. So we're going to start at the top, line them up a little bit, and for now we're just going to tie it off. So just make a little knot. Alright, so here we go. So we have some really ugly looking stuff all hanging down here. So what we do first is we're going to separate it into 2 sides. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. you're going to start by twisting the top part away from you, and then grab the bottom part and turn it, and then keep holding it here with your left hand. So then you're going to twist again, and you're going to grab the bottom part with this hand and turn it again. So just keep your left hand steady. So twist, grab, turn, twist, grab, turn. The tighter you twist, the tighter the cordage is going to actually be. So twist it nice and tight, grab it, turn it. Twist it nice and tight, grab it, turn it. You always want to keep it facing the same way. There's a few other ways to do this a lot faster, and I'll show you one in a sec. Twist, grab, turn. So since I'm doing this green, if you notice, this is all started, but once it dries, this will start to kind of stretch and separate a little bit, so that's why you want to dry it out first. But you do this exactly the same way once you dry it. So twist, turn, and you'll notice the bark and stuff is starting to come off, but that's okay. Twist, turn. So if you see, we're starting to get some rope. So kind of a shortcut, a faster way of doing this is you just take the side that you're twisting away from you. You just twist it all the way up. You get a nice one. And you hold it in your mouth, and you take the other end, and you keep on twisting. And now what you do with this hand is you just start twisting it on itself, and it'll continue. So with the finer fibers, you do exactly the same thing if you want kind of a finer cordage, and once you pull these all off, you'll see what I mean. So you can kind of just do the same thing. You twist one side away from you, grab the bottom, twist, away from you, bottom, twist, and you'll see that this cordage is a lot finer. Almost thread-like. So the other thing you're going to want to know how to do is what happens when you start to get too short and you need to add more pieces. So say you have these all stripped up, you're starting to run out. All you do is you're going to grab another strip, you're going to lay it across the other one. So what you want to do to make it strong is leave a little bit poking out the side. So take this piece, lay it across, and you just twist it right into it. And if you leave a little bit poking up, all you do is just cut it off after, and you just keep going, and you just do that every time that you run out of material, and you just keep adding more. It's called a splice. So here is the finished product. I made this the other day in about 45 minutes, half an hour. So it's pretty strong. This is from about 3 or 4 stalks, and it's a good length for bow drill. I've used Milkweed for bow drill before, and it's pretty tough. So like I said, to get it like this, you really want to dry it out first before you do all the steps that I showed you. Just to save time today, I didn't do that. So dry it out for a few hours in the sun before you start processing it and wrapping it the way I did it, and it should be great. So once it all dries and turns out like this, you can use this for pretty much anything, and it's quite strong. So that's how you make cordage out of milkweed. Thank you.